welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, presented by Alloy Personal Training. I'm Brooke Allen. Of course, we are live from the beautiful Tuscan Cafe in downtown Northville, right on Main Street. Of course, it is a week before Christmas, and everyone is kind of feeling the stress today. Thank you all for tuning in. Of course, if you are out getting some last-minute shopping done, we will be available on demand at any time. Speaking of which, you can find us live or on demand on Facebook pages of My Michigan TV. Our presenting sponsor, Alloy Personal Training, also another one of our sponsors, Time Warp Vintage, Skinny Teas, also Artisan Sun Bath and Skincare, and of course a big caffeinated thank you to all of those Michigan businesses. Of course, we are so excited to be welcoming Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald to Caffeinated Conversations. We'll be talking about balancing her extremely important job with mom life, the life of a mom, and also the Gun Violence Commission that she formed in September of last year, and so much more. We will also be joined by Darlene Vasi, the female CEO of Psygenics. That is a group of clinics that help people of all ages with developmental disabilities and mental illness. But first, our first segment always is Coffee of the Day. And of course, Will is the owner of Tuscan Cafe. He is in a meeting, so we are looking at this wonderful gift box, of course, for the coffee lover in your life. They've got Michigan cherry. They've also got tumblers, Christmas cookies, of course, maybe even throw in a gift card. Anything that you want, throw it in, because the coffee here is quite fabulous. Of course, we can attest to that. Coming up, of course, we will be talking with Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald about juggling her many hats, and also the Gun Violence Commission that she established. But before we go to break, remember, you can find Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen on Apple and Spotify. You are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. We are presented by Alloy Personal Training. I'm Brooke Allen. We'll be right back. At our presenting sponsor, Alloy Personal Training in Rochester, and I'm with Trent, the Director of Training. And Trent, I just kind of crashed your party here today and showed up. So this is awesome. Tell me what's happening right now.
Yeah, so we're right in the middle of the workout, right after the warm-up. So we did some foam rolling, some stretching, eased into it, and now we're in the strength training portion of the workout. So as you see around us, we're doing different things. Sean here is doing a bent over barbell row. We're doing some farmer's carries. So working on core and back strength. It's just totally different stuff for different folks. So.
Well, and that's what's so interesting, is that they're in the same space but doing different things.
Exactly.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's what makes us different. So, you know, like in large group environments, mostly people are doing the same exact thing all the time. Here it's completely different. We're tailoring it to the individual.
Right, and that's, you know, and it's not anyone, you know, you don't see anyone exhausted or like not able to do this. Maybe me if I jump in, but.
Oh, you'll be fine.
But the idea that it is tailored for the person.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna try some workouts. Let's do this, I'm excited. Hey, Brooke Allen here from Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I am at one of our sponsors. It is Time Warp Vintage in St. Clair Shores. And let me tell you, if you are looking for a Christmas place setting, look no further than this place, because it is amazing. They are filled with eclectic and retro and kitschy stuff. These are beautiful. They are from the 1960s, and they are even coated, because if you drink too much, you won't drop it. It will stick in your hand. That's what they discovered in the 60s. Also, Corral dishes. Who knew that they made Christmas dishes? I've never seen these before. I know my grandmother had many Corral dishes, but these are just gorgeous. And of course, plenty of drinkware, even some coasters, you name it, they have it. And it's all just amazing stuff that will take you back to the past. But if you're not looking for dishes, they have floating candles, so you can find those too. And you might be wondering what I'm styling on my ears. They are Santa Bear ear muffs from Hudson's. You can find those here. Great stocking stuffer. So really, come out to Time Warp Vintage in St. Clair Shores. Check it out. Say hi to Jason and Steve. It is amazing. Welcome welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us at Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, presented by Alloy Personal Training Rochester. I'm Brooke Allen, and of course, we are live from Northville, Michigan at the very busy, beautiful Tuscan Cafe located on Main Street. We are bringing the show live to you via Facebook and through My Michigan TV. Dave Scott and his team are incredible. My Michigan TV is a new free streaming network with all things Michigan. To watch free, simply add the app to your smartphone or smart TV. Well, of course, Karen McDonald is the Oakland County Prosecutor, and you are a mom, a wife, a judge, and a champion for kids. And of course, these last couple years have been tough because November 30th, the Oxford High School shooting happened, and 4 lives were lost: Hannah, Tate, Madison, and Justin. The shooter, the Oxford High School shooter, Ethan Crumbley, will only say his name once because I think we both follow that rule that we don't keep saying their name. But on December 8th, he was the first person in the country to be convicted of terrorism related to a school shooting. So I know this has been a long process for you. I mean, now that that part of it is done, how are you feeling?
You know, it's not really a moment for celebration, even though that was the result that we requested and advocated for, because nothing is ever going to make this better. No court proceeding is ever going to take away the pain and the suffering and the loss. But it was very, I think, moving, both for me on that day, listening to the victims of parents who've lost kids that day, of the 4 children who died, kids who were shot, parents of children who were shot. We had a teacher who was injured by gunfire, and then victims of the terrorism charge, which, if that was not charged and convicted, those students could not speak and give a victim impact statement. And that's why this is so important. A sentencing and a victim impact statement is much different than testimony given in a proceeding. This is an opportunity, the one time victims can address the court and they get to say what they want to say. And it's not controlled or edited in any way by anyone. And really, you know, I think if you talk to people who spoke that day, and even people who are in this process of grieving, they'll tell you that it was less about directing a statement to the shooter and more about naming their pain and their loss. And if you had a chance to hear those students, there's no way you can walk away from that without really understanding that they're victims, and that even the data and the science show that they'll carry that for the rest of their lives. I mean, we had hundreds of kids in that day texting their parents thinking they would never see them again.
Right. And that fear, right, even though it's been 2 years, the fear that happened that day will continue the rest of their lives.
That's right. I mean, every single one of them said very similar things, although they had different opinions about it, but not being able to go into a room without looking for exits, not wanting to be in a crowded room, not being able to trust that they're safe anywhere. And then, of course, we have students at Oxford that were there that day, and then they also were there during the MSU active shooting situation. So we've really just left them with this inherent belief that they're not safe anywhere. And that's a trauma that is going to play out in many, many ways for years and years to come.
And especially for the families that lost their kids, right. That trauma is going to continue. And anytime you hear of a similar situation, it seems like it brings it all immediately back. And people need to understand that. Right?
They do. And, you know, as you know, every time an incident like this occurs, it brings back everything that happened to you. And also, you never get over the loss of a loved one. You never get over the loss of a child. And while, you know, I can't experience that personally, these court proceedings and the criminal justice proceeding and everything that we do is only one small part of how we're going to address gun violence. It is now the #1 cause of death for children in this country, which is why I started the Commission to Address Gun Violence, because there's so much we can do as moms and community members and employees and employers to prevent gun violence that has nothing to do with guns, nothing to do with the moment the person has their hand on the gun.
So this commission, can you kind of talk a little bit about it? There's quite a few people on it, right? There's a list.
It's it's a really impressive group of experts across the country, and instead of just focusing on school safety or an active shooting situation in a school, we're really addressing it in a comprehensive way, which is what it needs to be. The #1 cause of death for children before gun violence just a few years ago was automobile accidents, and we didn't solve that with just focusing on one small part, regulating a car or who can drive a car. We did those things, but we also educated the public. You can't get in your car with a child, even a small child, without buckling up, because we've taught them that's what you should do. We've taught the general public you shouldn't text and drive. We have laws about who can drive and how to drive, and instead of focusing on all of these things that we can do to prevent gun violence and having somebody be in that state of crisis where they actually have their hand on the gun, all we've managed to do is teach kids to run, hide, and fight and argue about guns. Yeah. And I just, after this happened in Oxford and everything else that was going on, where we see we're really on the front lines of gun violence, I just started trying to educate myself as much as possible and getting in touch with experts. And so we're looking at this in, way upstream, and how do we teach kids and human beings to be tolerant to adversity, which we know that they will encounter. The data on social emotional curriculum and learning is really strong, teaching people how to recognize when someone's in crisis and then giving them tools about what to do. Right now, people they don't know what to do. They call the police, which is not the answer. That's not what our law enforcement is set up for. So we have protocols coming out on those sorts of things you want to see in your schools, you want to see in your workplaces, and then also protocols on evidence-based threat assessments that organizations and schools and employers can adopt with really not very big lifts. So
right, and it seems like everyone wants to fix the problem, but you just mentioned the heavy lifts, and sometimes it feels like people don't really want to do that.
Right. Well, after this happened and still today, I get approached almost 3 to 4 times a week when I'm out in the public, and I have a lot of moms say, how can I protect my kid? What can I do? Should I buy a bulletproof backpack? And I just feel that as a public servant, I owe them an answer. And we keep thinking this is so big. I can't change the law, or, I can't, it's a mental health crisis. But those are really those are excuses, and we need to teach people that there's actually a lot we can do as an ordinary person to protect ourselves and our kids from gun violence.
So as a mom, you have 5 kids.
I do.
Right? And the whole idea of when these happen, and I know Uvalde for me, because my kids were the same age when that happened in Texas. And it shook me to my core, just thinking, how can I help them? Like what you just mentioned, how do I protect them from this?
Yes, that was the first active shooting situation in a school after Oxford. And so experiencing that actually was one of the pivotal moments where I decided I was just going to start this commission, because I looked around so much, and there are commissions and task force started after these incidents, but only, very narrowly tailored to school incidents, or that has some more to do with the assessment of how the response was. But the majority of gun violence killing kids in this country is not happening at school, it's suicide. And even the majority of targeted violence, which is what a school shooting is, most of those do not take place in schools. They take place, you're far more danger in the workplace. So just these things that people just don't know because we haven't taken the time to educate.
So when you look back on these last couple of years, and you say people come up to you weekly, mentioning something, what is your first thought of, here we go again, or are you, are they coming up to you, are they angry, or what are they saying to you?
No, I think they're afraid, and my first thought is, I am too, and instead of being afraid and hiding away or trying to limit your experiences with the world, I choose to do something, and my message is you can do something too.
Okay, so for anyone out there watching, what is the first step of action they can take?
So we are going to be releasing in the first of the year our finalized protocols and really rolling this out like a public health crisis. This is a nonpartisan commission, and we started a nonprofit around it, and those will be tools that you as a mom, a parent, an employee, a member of your faith-based organization can go on our website and say, okay, does my employer have this? Does my employer have really threat assessments?
Oh, so it's like a checklist.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's going to be links and examples that if you go to your school board or your employer and say, do you have these? These are literally the gold standard. The experts agree what we need right now. And a lot of it, if you think about the cost of this, the average act of one incident of gun violence can cost our community up to $1 million when you consider first responders, medical care, the cost of the criminal justice system response. So in terms of cost-benefit analysis, this is an easy one, but I don't think anybody I talk to really wants to talk about the money. If it's saving kids' lives, then that's all that is important.
Okay, so that's rolling out, you said, after the first of the year?
Yes.
Right? Okay,
Yes.
and so people can go to where to find that?
We will have a dedicated, I think the best thing to do is to watch our website through the Oakland County Prosecutor's office and all our social media, because it will be rolled out on all of those.
Okay. And as you know, as a mom, the holidays are upon us.
Yes.
And you are, I mean, you're like everyone else, right?
I'm like
Stressing
everyone
out.
else. Yeah. I think my challenge that I embrace every day, which is so important during the holidays, is regardless of what is going on and how scary it seems and how stressful it seems, the intentional act of being present in our everyday lives is so important, and it takes work and it takes time. It's not going to just come. So I really intentionally say and try, I am home. I am trying to prepare a holiday season for my family, and I'm going to be present, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm also not going to hold myself to a standard of perfection, which I think is a real challenge for a lot of working moms.
For sure.
Actually,
right.
It doesn't matter whether you work outside the home or not. We all want to
work, right?
It's all work, right? So, I think we say those things, but you really have to be intentional about staying present and saying what is important. I think so many of the things in my career, but in the last 2 years particularly, we have to extend gratitude every single day for the gifts that we have, because they can be taken away so easily. And you can't really do my job without having that really hit home every single day.
And I think that's what people need to understand, right? I mean, your job is hard.
Sure.
And everyone's job is hard, but I mean, with yours, it's a lot of pressure, and then the kid, being a mom, a wife, all of that too on top of it, right?
Well, I think one of our natural instincts to encountering these things in the news, and in my case, my job, is you begin to see danger everywhere. You begin to fear danger coming to the people that you love and yourself. And so, mindset is very important. Not to ignore, not to avoid, but to acknowledge that, and then make an intentional choice to not have that overcome your life.
So do you ever just are you able to unplug? You know what I mean? Like turn your phone off for a little while and are you?
Well, I think given the choice I've made and the job I have, my version of unplugging is probably different than others.
Okay.
But I definitely prioritize well-being. Okay. I have a lot of responsibility, not just in prosecuting this case, but running our office and all of the prosecutions that we handle every year. So look, if I'm not well, then I can't do my job well.
Right.
So. And that's something I've really brought to our office that is sort of behind the scenes that no one, that's not really widely known. But I feel so strongly that the most important work we'll ever do is to love and be loved and parent and care about our families. And I want that to be present in our workplace. So we offer and extend grace in our workplace to those who need it. And I believe that's just to me, the way I see the world, and putting pressures on people to ignore the things that we know are the most important makes no sense. It's not a good business model, by the way, but it also isn't any place I would want to go to work.
Right. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. It's so nice to talk to you again and to see you and to hear your insight about how things work. And some people may not have known a lot of that. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas.
Likewise.
Thank you. Coming up, we will be talking to Darlene Vasi. She is the CEO of Psygenics, a group of mental health services and programs in Wayne and Macomb counties, helping people of all ages. But first, we take you on the road to one of our flash sponsors from the past week, the gorgeous Le Shop Modern in Kego Harbor. Hey, Brooke Allen here. I am at Le Shop Modern in Kego Harbor, and I am with Terry. Terry, what's your title?
I am the art appraiser, and I'm one of the partners in the auction house.
Okay, so this store is chock full of amazing things. And you are actually the one who appraises art and values it and does all of that.
Yes, on Wednesdays we have from 12 to 4, anyone can bring in up to 5 pieces of art and see what the value is. So when we get phone calls about art appraisals and people say something like, well, I don't know if it has any value. Art appraisals are really expensive. So we've offered this to people so they can come in and see if it does have any value. And if it does have any value, then we can go ahead and say, would you like it insured? And then we can do the appraisal there for them. Or, are you interested in selling it and consigning it? So we can sell it retail in our showroom, or we can put it on our auction.
Okay, so what room are we in right now?
So we're in the first floor main room where all the offices are, and we have some amazing pieces. This one's actually going to be in our auction in January. It's a Helen Frankenthaler. It's unbelievable. We're in the presence of greatness.
And you have said that this is actually small.
It is a small piece. I've actually appraised a piece of hers that's probably the size of this wall for around $6 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the one directly behind you?
So this is a Michael Goldberg, also going to be on our auction. It's an amazing piece too. And also this little bronze here by Willem de Kooning. Just 3 pieces that really you could walk into any museum and these pieces would be hanging on the wall.
Right? Mm-hmm. So when people come in, what is their first question? Besides, I guess, how much is this worth?
Right.
What is the biggest thing that they're asking you?
They want to know the value of it, and then they want to know if they can sell it. We do have people come in that need to insure it, and they, that maybe they inherited it and they want to keep it from their grandmother, and then we do an insurance appraisal for them. And then if they want to sell it, we decide, we have a couple of different specialists here that we review it, we go over it, we see, does it have good auction results? Does it have better retail results? And see how they're going to
decide if it's going to go to retail or auction.
Exactly.
Do they have a say in that, or do you just recommend?
We give our recommendations. Some people like to go with the auction because they get a higher percentage in commission, but it usually evens out because in auction you're going to pay a little bit less than a prime for a piece like that, because a little bit more savvy buyers are buying at auction, and they're maybe not the end users. There's somebody that might be buying it for a client or somebody like that. So yeah.
So so you said that you do those on Wednesdays.
Yes.
So what would people need to know if they were coming in?
All they need to know is that it's from 12 to 4. They can bring up to 5 pieces, and we do it right there and then. Typically between Trista and I, we can figure out what it is, and if not, then we'll give them a call back and spend a little more time on it. But if somebody brings in 2 pieces, we spend about 15 or 20 minutes with them. It's kind of like a mini version of Antique Roadshow.
I was just going to say that. I was like, wow, that seems like, here, how much is this worth?
We've had some great pieces. We've had a client that came in that had bought a house, and at the closing, the woman said, I left the painting above the fireplace for you because it matched so perfect. And it was here when I bought the house, and I think we ended up selling it for around $140,000. So
really?
Yeah, so that does happen sometimes.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so tell me where we're located.
So we're in Kego Harbor, 3325 Orchard Lake Road.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Hello, and welcome back to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen, presented by Alloy Personal Training Rochester. I'm Brooke Allen, of course. We are broadcasting from the very busy Tuscan Cafe live in Northville. Come and check out Tuscan Cafe on Main Street. Say hello to Will and his team. They have been fabulous. Well, Psygenics helps people of all ages with intellectual developmental disabilities in Macomb and Wayne counties by focusing on empowerment, support, active treatment, also advocacy. And my next guest is CEO Darlene Vasi. She is a licensed CPA who has worked in a leadership position for several not-for-profit organizations throughout her career with a focus on behavioral health providers. And Darlene, first of all, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate it. And can you start kind of by introducing yourself and providing a brief overview of Psygenics and what you're all about?
My name is Darlene Vasi. I'm the CEO of Psygenics Incorporated. Psygenics is a outcome-based agency that provides for developmentally disabled adults and children, as well as adult mentally impaired adults.
So what inspired you on this path?
Long ago, I'm an accountant by trade.
Okay.
And what I did is I was in the mental health or behavioral health industry for all my career. And I decided that there were gaps. There was outcomes that I wanted to see take place, and therefore I decided I was going to be part of the solution.
Okay. And so how did you initially start Psygenics?
Well, I had a small grant, and I had a very small contract. And I started off, and I was told I did a really good job with this contract, and they asked me to expand my array of services. I knew we did a good job.
Right.
It was wonderful.
Right. So you could feel it, and you knew
I could
it
feel
was
it.
great.
Yeah.
And
It was
that's
great.
good.
And
so,
then we just start going.
Okay. So when did you start? What year?
12 years ago.
Okay. So 12 years. So from then to now, where are you?
We now have 4 locations.
Okay.
Roseville, in Wayne County we have Dearborn, Detroit, and Trenton.
Okay. And so you treat both kids and adults. Can you tell me the age ranges, or
From 2 to probably 29.
Okay.
With the IDD population, and the adults are just adults with mental impairments.
So if somebody needed your services, or do they go to the website, or how would they get involved?
Well, they could go to our website, but generally each of the counties have their own mechanism for referrals.
Okay.
And they would go to the mental health agencies in their county.
And as far as the kids, the programs there, do they, I mean, you said as young as 2. So they come to the offices, and they come to the office.
They do, with their parents.
Okay. And what kind of treatment, can you tell me what kind of treatment?
Well, we have case management, psychiatry, physical health, case management. I think I said case management
That's
already.
all right.
It's okay. And we have speech pathology, and occupational therapy, as well as peer support.
So what about IEPs and all of that in the educational realm?
Okay. So what we have is our case manager will sit down with the family members as well as the member in our camp and work on a treatment program. And they'll do that annually at a minimum, and then talk about their goals and aspirations, and we make it happen. Our sports coordinator coordinates all of that with our array of services.
That's, it's such a big undertaking, right?
It's huge.
How many people in these 12 years do you think have gone through your programs?
Oh, thousands.
Really?
Thousands of people in the past 12 years.
So what about future plans?
Well, we certainly want to go into other counties. I would like to be a voice and an advocate for this vulnerable population at state level, national level, and speak for the stigma with mental health. It's okay to have services.
Right, and it's okay to not be okay.
It's right, exactly. Exactly. If you had a heart condition, you would take medication for that heart condition. And if you have a mental disability, you take care of that, because it's going to make you a better person.
So what do you say for this, this stigma? I know that I said this to someone else a couple weeks ago, as far as, well, I think COVID helped the stigma of mental health, and they said, not really. I mean, it brought it to the forefront maybe a little bit, but it didn't really.
It needs to be at a higher level. It needs to be at a policy level. We need to work on the governmental agencies, the politicians, the people that are going to make a difference, the one who are going to allocate funds for these programs.
Okay, so how do people do that?
That's a really hard question. That's a really hard question. Most people have somebody who has a disability or has some mental health issues. I've known of a couple people, extended family members, who have had suicides. It affects everybody. There's a rippling effect that is just unbearable.
And for years to come. And I think that's right. That's something.
What could I have done?
Right.
What could I have done differently to prevent them from doing what they did?
Right.
And there's a lot of guilt and a lot of animosity that's created because of that.
So do you treat families as well? Like if they are dealing?
We do. We
Okay.
do.
So if somebody is dealing with a loss of someone, they can reach out to Psygenics as well?
Right, they could.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so give me the website where people can find you.
It's www.psygenics.org.
And can people call? And so what is your turnaround time from the time that people maybe call, and how easy is it? Is it easy to get in?
Generally, it has to be within 2 days.
Oh, okay. From the time when they call?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's a crisis, we'll send them to a crisis center.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure that they're okay.
So one last question, what advice would you give to women who are looking to make a difference in either this field or any other?
Keep your eyes and ears open. Watch for signs. Watch for. It's kind of difficult to penetrate this industry, but if you have a passion, do it. Go for it. Go for it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And again, we have been talking to Darlene Vasi and of Psygenics. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, when we come back, we'll have a look at what's coming up next week for Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Of course, you are watching us live from the Tuscan Cafe in downtown Northville. We'll be right back. I'm Brooke. I am hanging out at Premier Pet Supply doing my holiday shopping for James, my dog, in case you don't know who that is. And he will be super excited because we love donuts in our family. So this is just one of the many things that I'm going to add to my my cart. Hi, Mike.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Okay, so listen, we are loading up for the holiday treats for all of our pets, and you've got a whole, I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, so we've got a store full of toys and treats, and a lot of them Christmas themed for both cats and dogs. And we have a lot of fun this time of year. It's December, it's the busiest time of year for us.
Oh, it is.
And people love spoiling their pets, right? You know, and they give us that unconditional love. So this is the time of year that we give back to them and let them have a little bit of fun. You know, it's great.
And tasty treats, what are you holding right now?
So this is just one example of some of the treats that are Christmas themed. These are sleigh ride snacks by Finley's. Finley's is a great company. We talked about another company, it's a Michigan company, Beer City, that is made up of individuals that have special needs that help run the company and facilitate, you know, the operations. And so there's a little story in the back of each one of these bags about who put this together and who's behind all this. And so this is a great company, but there's so many that we have that as far as toys go, and like you saw the donuts there
the
too,
donut. I love
that
that.
are holiday themed
Right.
and Christmas themed, so it's fun.
And of course, you know,
Yes,
Holiday Bear.
that's right.
Is it
By
fair?
Fluff and Tough, one of our favorite companies. They do a
Right.
great job with all their toys.
So I think it's important to mention too that you carry a lot of Michigan-made products here.
We do, and the cool thing is in December just happens to be our Michigan Mania month, so everything that's Michigan is 10% off. All the Michigan-owned companies, all the brands that are made in Michigan are as well.
Okay, so what is your favorite treat for a dog?
So I absolutely love the pumpkin treats. My dog, it's good for the dog's stomach. It's, you know, it's holiday themed, but my dog can eat them throughout the entire year. So a lot of the pumpkin and ginger, you know, type of treats are really popular. So my dog Frankie loves those.
Frankie. Oh, see, our dogs have human names.
Yes, yeah.
All right, well, listen, thank you so much. It is awesome here, and come and get Fido or Fluffy holiday treat here at Premier Pet Supply. Well, we are proud to have sponsors from all over this great state, including Great Harvest Bread Company in Okemos. This is my kids' favorite treat, their holiday bread, which includes white chocolate cherry swirl, excellent for French toast, chocolate babka or chocolate brownie bread, which is actually more like a cake with a hint of peppermint. It is a great Christmas Day treat, so head to Great Harvest Bread Company in Okemos and make sure your holiday is complete. Welcome back. back. We are just 1 week before Christmas, and you are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen, and we are live from the Tuscan Cafe in downtown Northville. Of course, we are bringing the show live to you through Facebook, also through My Michigan TV. Dave Scott and his team are incredible. My Michigan TV is a new free streaming network about all things Michigan, and that's why we love it. So to watch free, simply add the app to your smartphone or smart TV. And of course, if you are looking for a way to stay in shape this holiday season and beyond, check out our presenting sponsor, Alloy Personal Training Rochester. It is not a one-size-fits-all. They'll design a fitness plan based on your needs, goals, also your abilities. I've actually done their workout. It is incredible. You want to check it out. Also, the Alloy Rochester Club is in the City Life Plaza on the southeast corner of Tinkin and Rochester Road. You can find them at alloypersonaltraining.com and type in Rochester, Michigan. And of course, I would like to say thank you to Will and his team here at the Tuscan Cafe. They've been hosting us. It has been a pleasure to be here. It is a beautiful cafe. Make sure you come and check it out when you're in downtown Northville. They are right on Main Street. Also, I'd like to say a big thank you to Lynn Sturla. She is the one who actually introduced us to Will, and to my executive producer, Christina McDaniel, who keeps the show on track. Also, My Michigan TV, Dave Scott and his team, and of course, all of our sponsors. Well, don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. Also, you can find us on Instagram at Brooke Allen Official. Share with friends, and of course, we do want to mention our act of caffeinated kindness for this month of December. It is Teen Clean Closet. Their mission is to help young people and their families by providing them with the products they need for everyday hygiene. This is a problem that a lot of kids are super embarrassed about, and Teen Clean Closet helps them get what they need. The top items on their wish list are deodorant, bar soap, body wash, also laundry supplies. You can find a link to donate. You can find that on our website, caffeinatedconversationswithbrookeallen.com. Well, as we've been saying, Christmas is 1 week from today. Yeah! We will be home enjoying the holidays with our families, friends, and neighbors, but as we hope all of you will be as well. But we will have a brand new episode of Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen for you. And of course, with the kids out of school and all their new gadgets under the tree, how do you keep them safe online? An expert weighs in, and all that and more next week. Of course, you are watching Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen. I'm Brooke Allen. We are live from the Tuscan Cafe in Northville. Have a wonderful holiday, and of course, keep the coffee hot.